Hey everybody, welcome back to this special event. For the holidays, we take on the Blue Bomber himself, Mega Man. I am Drak.
I am Shadow.
And we're going to take on Iceman, because he's really awesome.
The Iceman cometh.
Indeed. Yeah, so if people hadn't figured it out in our first part, we took on Cutman and Electman to get their powers. So the next obvious logical conclusion, since I just beat Electman, is that he can kill Iceman. Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry, guys, but you know what? The statute of limitations is like 30 years old on this game. But I'm not angsty at all.
My goodness, it's been a long time for this, hasn't it?
It has, and you know, this is the glory days of the Blue Bomber.
Mm-hmm.
If only Capcom could realize that, you know, the Blue Bomber was still one of their staple franchises.
And maybe they wouldn't be dying.
Or have the creator leave. And go make another game based in this concept.
By a Kickstarter.
Seriously, Alex, this is one of the main reasons that Capcom fans hate Capcom right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is because of all the Mega Man hatred that the execs have given. And you know what? It's totally justified.
Like, seriously, what is their problem?
I think their problem is that, unfortunately, Mega Man over the last few years has not been their biggest revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a beloved franchise, it's not been their biggest revenue. Unfortunately, the biggest revenue that they've gotten over the years has been Dead Rising, has been the Resident Evil games. Devil May Cry has taken a lot of that too. And so they look at the Blue Bomber and go, oh, well, we haven't been getting that much money with it. The problem is that if they actually let Inafune do what he wanted to do, that wouldn't be an issue. He would be making money. This is why he went off and did Mighty No. 9. Is so that he could do what he wanted to do and he didn't have to worry about stupid Capcom.
Yep.
To which, actually, one of the stories I read later on that made me kind of laugh is he was willing to do Mighty No. 9 for Capcom, but it had to be on his terms. Capcom wasn't too happy about that.
There's just a point where you gotta not say anything. That's the point. You write the man a check and let him go to work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the problem is that, unfortunately, in some of these game companies, executives have not programmed at all. They are businessmen.
That's true.
And unfortunately, when you do that, you kind of lose what a lot of people love. One of the reasons, for example, an American example, one of the reasons that Blizzard and BioWare do well is that you actually have programmers of games working in the executive staff. And so they got that making a game was a lengthy process. Executives who have just, you know, are business majors, and don't get me wrong, there's a place for them, but they're only interested in the big dollars. Mm-hmm. Well, if Mega Man X4 or whatever doesn't do the numbers that they think it should, they're not going to fund it. And that's the sadness of it.
That's a shame.
But I feel bad for Mega Man fans, because we had like 3 Mega Man games rumored, and all 3 of them were taken down, including one that was like Little Big Planet. It was going to be a Mega Man level creator. Basically.
Oh, nice.
Alright, so we are here at Iceman, or Eskimo Man. You can literally make that joke. And he falls to the Thunder Beam. And now we have his power. We're going to take a look at the roster and figure out who would Iceman kill. The answer's fairly obvious. Oh, gee, I wonder who we're going to next. I can see Alex has already spotted it. So up next is going to be Fireman.
Fireman. Except I'm sure he starts fires instead of puts them out.
Pretty much. And of course he has control of the city's blast furnace for their heating. Because that makes sense, right?
Yep. Actually, it really does.
Seriously, the whole Capcom issue has pissed me off, as well as a lot of Capcom fans. I love Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, but the fact that they have treated the Blue Bomber so bad over the last couple of years, who was basically their cash cow for the 8 to 32-bit era, it makes no sense. At the very most, what you've done for him recently is the fan-made Mega Man vs. Street Fighter, which was good. Don't get me wrong, I love it. but that's the best that's been done for the Blue Bomber recently. And since Alex is actually an anime... In case you guys didn't know this, Alex reviews anime on his channel.
Yeah.
Here, do you want to know the anime reference here?
I want to say Astro Boy.
Yes! Keiji Inafune was a big fan of Osamu Tezuka.
Yes.
And so, a lot of the tropes of Astro Boy are very prevalent in the Mega Man series.
I can see it. It has a very Astro Boy feel.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense. And you'll actually see a little bit more Inafune-isms as we go along. In fact, one of the things you probably don't know is that Mega Man is not the Japanese name for this.
It's Rockman.
It's Rockman, because the guy wanted to do music.
Yeah.
So, instead of Mega Man and Roll, it's Rock and Roll.
Yes.
I don't know why they never changed her to like Mega Girl or something like that, but thank you, Capcom America. I also think the execs of Capcom just said, well, then we have to make everything music-themed. No, you don't. You can still have this weird, outlandish concept and still have it work. Alright, more fire. Fire! Stay away from the fire!
Fire. Fire.
Ow! Fire hot! And I start having a little bit of slowdown because of the recording, so trying to keep track of some of the enemies is now harder.
I can imagine.
This is a very typical NES game in the fact of memorize the patterns and you're fine. Well, if you can't see the patterns, then you're kind of screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is actually one of those things in the level I forgot, is you can actually make this a ton easier for yourself by using Iceman's power to freeze this fire incoming.
Right.
But I figured, well, I couldn't remember how much the ice power took, and it doesn't hurt that hard. So, might as well just muscle on through it. Now, another thing to keep in mind, Alex, is if you die in these levels, you carry the same life amount into the next level. So let's just say if I beat Cutman and I only had if I had 0 lives,
it carries over.
It carries.
Yeah.
And so 1 death in the level, and you're starting over. Alright, so second checkpoint. We are now to Fireman.
Fire!
Fire hot! I'll admit, Fireman was kind of dinky, but here's the thing, too. All the other fire-themed enemies in the Mega Man universe aren't any better.
Extra life!
Yep, we got a little Mega Man face. Unfortunately, we're not getting any health icons.
Oh, that's a shame.
So, but since I got the extra life, that actually helps, because now I can just go through this area again and be at full health. But I haven't realized this yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to farm. Because that's what you did back in the 80s days. You farmed for the health so that you could last. Until Capcom got wise and gave us energy tanks. This is one of those things where Mega Man set the pace, and 2 is such an improvement over the first. Because he took all the stuff that people complain about and he fixed it. And made it great. And all the games following are just as good. And I knew he was going to kill me anyway, so I let him get the shot. I love the Inafune music! Inafune is one of the few people, Alex, that actually gets a lot of fan-made remixes for his levels. I especially like that on Screw Attack, a lot of those remixes go there. And so you'll get a remix of Cutman Stage with hard guitar, or you'll get Gutsman Stage with a lot of bass.
Yeah.
Because this is all he could do. Alright, so Fireman, round 2.
Fight!
Will he go down this time? He better. And yes, I'm taking a lot of unnecessary damage. It's because I already know I've got him killed.
Yay!
Alright, so now we have his fire powers.
Yay, fire.
Indeed. Fire! Fire! Yeah! But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. Next time, we take on the last 2 remaining Robot Masters. So sit back and relax, because next week we are back. I am Drak.
I am Shadow.
And we wish you all a happy holidays, but especially a happy Blue Bomber Christmas.